The GDC Part EX LR is here, but should you summon for Tag Gohan, Trunks, and Goten? How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We're back for another Dokkan Battle video. In today's video, we are answering that age-old question. Should you summon for the upcoming Global Dokkan Campaign Part EX LR Tag Super Saiyan Gohan, Super Saiyan Trunks, and Super Saiyan Goten? As always, in order to answer this question, we're going to look at three major things. Number one, we're going to look at the unit himself. Is the unit good enough by itself to justify a summon? Number two, we're going to look at the unit's banner. We have a little bit of information on his banner that we can make an assessment, because as always, units are not alone. They exist on these banners, and sometimes those banners may or may not be worth your stones. And then finally, we'll take a look at what lies ahead. We have very limited information in this post-sync, post-10th anniversary world, but we have to make some educated guesses so to ensure that anything we spend here is not giving up on anything major coming up. So let's go ahead. Let's start by taking a look at the unit itself. So Gohan is a Hybrid Saiyans, Youth, or Defenders of Justice, Category Key 3, HP 200%, and Attack and Defense 170%, and an additional 50% Attack and Defense and HP for Siblings Bond, Parent-Child, Bond of Parent-Child, and Bond of Friendship. All in all, it's a pretty decent leader skill, but obviously the priorities on their lead are going to be Hybrid Saiyans and Youth, right? There aren't too many Defenders of Justice characters who are going to be on these bottom three categories. So, right, really Hybrid Saiyans and Youth is what you're going for here with this team. And it makes sense when you look at the rest of his passive. On his 18 key super, he is raising defense for one turn, causing mega colossal damage, and increasing his critical hit chance by 58% for the turn. On his 12 key, he is raising it by 10% for 4 turns, and raising attack for 4 turns as well, right? So defense on 18 key, and then attack stacking for 4 turns on his 12 key. It's a little odd. You don't typically see this variation of it. Typically, if you have something like attack stacking that's on the 18 key, I mean, I guess it's good. I mean, it's good that this is on the 12 key, right? Because typically the 12 key is what you're going to be doing more of. So this honestly just helps him build up sooner. So moving on, right, on his passive, he gets 200% attack and defense and launches an additional super attack. So already there, he's getting 2 build right there. He receives an additional key 3 per rainbow key sphere obtained, and when receiving an attack, he gets an additional defense 250%. For one turn from the entry turn, he gets damage reduction rate 40%, and all allies attack defense 30%. When there's another Hybrid Saiyans or Bond of Parent and Child ally on the team, he gets key 7 and attack and defense 250% when attacking. All allies get attack and defense 30% and transform a critical hit 15% self-excluded. So he buffs everybody else except himself with that bottom part of his passive. Then with one or more rainbow key sphere obtained, he gets an additional 200% attack, damage reduction 38%, launches another additional super attack, and attack 200% when attacking. With 12 or more int key spheres obtained, or 5 rainbow key spheres obtained, whichever comes first, he will get permanently defense 258% with an additional 20% damage reduction rate, as well as giving all allies 58% for 2 turns self-excluded. So the 258 is permanent, but this only happens every time you get the 12 int key spheres. So just be aware of that you won't always be able to proc this. Finally, when there's another 2 Hybrid Saiyans allies on the team starting from the 3rd turn, you will be able to exchange them with the Trunks and Goten. If there's no other Hybrid Saiyans, then you'll have to wait till the 5th turn to exchange them. Gohan, like all other exchange units does have his own active skill, and his active skill massively raises his attack temporarily. It is the triple Kamehameha with Goten Trunks and himself. He massively raises attack temporarily, causes ultimate damage to the enemy within the turn activated, and attacks become critical hits guaranteed, as well as changes all key spheres. All key spheres to int and rainbow key spheres, basically ensuring that you get this part of his passive up. So it can be activated as long as you can perform the reversible exchange on the 3rd turn. If not, it can be activated on the 5th turn. So all in all, the Gohan side is pretty decent. But let's take a look here real quick at the Goten and Trunks side. So the Goten and Trunks side, once reverse exchange on their 18 key, raise attack for 1 turn, cause mega colossal damage, and raise superclass allies attack 50% for 1 turn, with a great chance of raising superclass allies defense by 50% for 1 turn. On their 12 key, they are raising both attack and defense for 4 turns. On their passive skill, they get key 5 and attack defense to 100%. They have a medium chance of performing a critical hit and a great chance of launching an additional super attack. They receive an additional key 2 per type key sphere obtained. With a key sphere obtained, they get a chance of evading an enemy's attack 77%. Then, with 2 or more key spheres obtained, they get attack 100% when attacking, and defense 100% when it's receiving an attack. With 4 or more key spheres obtained, they launch an additional super attack and have guaranteed guard. Per youth category ally on the team, they get attack 200% and chance of evading enemy's attack 10%. Per hybrid Saiyans ally on the team, they get defense 100% up to 500%. Then, when receiving a super attack, they have a chance of evading 15% temporarily, and all allies key 3, attack and defense 30% within the turn, and youth allies have a chance of evading enemy's attack 5% increased for 2 turns, self-excluded. So they do have an active skill that can be activated the moment you exchange them, and when you do, you will when you do, it will massively raise attack temporarily, cause ultimate damage, and buff youth allies for the rest of battle by 20%. Now, this also applies to themselves, right? So the Gohan, like if you're running a double lead, it would apply to the other Gohan since they would share the youth categories as well. So let's talk about the Gohan side first. So Gohan side is pretty good. He's incredibly powerful with his active skill, right? His active skill is going to hit really hard, right? He's got the hard-hitting active skill, but defensively on the first turn, he's probably going to be okay, right? Because you have that additional damage reduction rate, 40%, which means on his turn 1, he's got 78% damage reduction. Plus, right, if you're running double, you're going to have that extra support that from the you're going to have that extra support from the other Gohan as well. So, I mean, he's not too bad, but his second appearance is where things get a little dicey. By his third appearance, you will be able to activate his active skill and get him this buff. Now, of course, that does mean you won't be able to use the buff for the Goten and Trunks side, but that's okay. You will be able to do it, you're not going to use both. Like if you're running double lead, you'll use one to raise and then the other to launch Gohans, right? That's typically how you would run this. Now, of course, his defense is going to be kind of hard to get this buff in most cases for both of them if you're running them. However, there are a lot of good rainbow orb changers on their team, and even more so, right? You have a brand new Super Easy A here. that's coming along with their release that will also give them the rainbow orbs that they need with the Goten and Trunks. So I mean, it's not gonna be that difficult to get the buff that you need. To get the buff that you need for him, honestly, right? With 5 rainbow key might be a little bit difficult, but the 12 ints, I mean, it shouldn't be too terribly hard to get for at least one of them. So let's take a look at the Goten and Trunks. Now with the Goten and Trunks, right, they are insane. Like, they are the real tough part of this card, right? They are going to be launching insane amounts of attacks. Now their active skill isn't going to hit as hard as the Gohan one. It's going to be more focused on buffing the rest of the battles, but I mean, that's okay, right? Because and the reason is right, because their buffs all come on when obtaining those key spheres, right? So because of that, they are going to it's not going to hit as hard. However, right, his regular attacks, because of this piece here, right, and there being no limit to it, they're actually going to be hitting hard. So if you have a full youth team, this is a 1200% attack boost and a 60% evasion boost, which basically means with a single key sphere obtained, they have guaranteed dodge on a full youth team. Heck, even with just 2 youth allies, which is basically like these guys and then the other Goten and Trunks, you have guaranteed evasion, right? Like it's insane. Like this type of passive, and this allows him to be launching like 100 mil, right? Turn 3, you're going to start being like launching 100+ mil attacks, maybe a little lower at like 55%, but still going to be pretty good. So I really do like this card. I mean, I like that they made Goten and Trunks an actual good card for once. Well, okay, we did have the Fizz one, Easy A, but like they don't get too many times to shine here in Dokkan, so I'm really happy about this. So all in all, I would say the unit is worth your summon if you decide to go in on the banner, right? If you get this card, they are going to be good for you. So that's 1 in the category for the unit itself. However, we know that he doesn't exist on a banner alone, right? He will be on a Dokkan Fest banner, and in fact, they've been kind enough to put the actual banner details in the data download, which they don't often do for this, but since he's a Dokkan Fest LR, they did, it is actually in there. So you can see here that this is pretty much his banner. His banner will bring the return of Daima Vegeta, AGL Super Saiyan 3 Goku, his banner unit Spupafich, and Int Fat Boot. Now, this banner was meant to be the August Dokkan Fest banner, which means one of two things, right? This is either going to be a 10 featured unit banner or a 12 featured unit banner, since this is an LR. Hard to say. I think it's just going to be 10, which means, right, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means there are 5 other characters on this banner. The 5 other characters probably aren't going to be too much crazier than this, right? Considering the lead of Gohan, right? You're probably going to have things like Tech Ultimate Gohan here. Like if we just pull up Hybrid Saiyans real quick, Hybrid Saiyans and Youth. We'll just pull up these 2 categories because I doubt we'll probably, if there are Defenders of Justice, it'll probably be ones that are already on the Hybrid Saiyans lead, right? So I mean, likely TUR wise, there probably won't be. I mean, Tech Ultimate Gohan, Tech Pan maybe on the banner. Who else could possibly be on the banner? AGL Kid Gohan could be on the banner since he's a Dokkan Fest. Int Gotenks, like I said earlier, Tech Ultimate Gohan. Future Gohan probably could be on the banner. Tech Trunks. Again, there'll be 5 featured units. If we look at the youth side of things, Int Gotenks makes a lot of sense. Path to Power Kid Goku makes a lot of sense. AGL Kid Goku definitely not going to be on there because he would be featured on the return on the front of the banner to show that he's returning. So unfortunately he won't be there, but things like Int Gotenks, AGL Kid Gohan, who could possibly Easy A, Int Kid Goku could be on the banner. Let's see, maybe Fizz Gotenks, right? He could be another possible Super Easy A during the celebration, and he could be possibly on the banner. Or even like Super Easy 8 Tech Gotenks, since he's already Super Easy 8, could be on the banner as well. So I mean, there's some decent units on both hybrids and youth that could be on here, including I mean, not on hybrids, but on Defenders of Justice, Videl, EZA, SCR Videl could also be on the banner. So I mean, the reality is, I mean, I'm gonna be completely honest, it's not the craziest banner. Basically, your best things on here are probably Fat Boo, Gohan, and I'm gonna say it, Diamond Vegeta. So all in all, there isn't too much value to the banner, although I will say, since it is a pity banner, it is going to have this bit right here, right? 2 multi-summons and then a guaranteed featured on at the end of your 2 multi-summons, and that can be done for 7 rounds. So honestly, it's still not that great of a banner, even with that. So I would have to say that's a no-go on the banner itself. It's really, there's not a whole lot of value compared to the other 2 bigger banners that are currently live right now. The GT, the 2 Dokkan Fest banners that are currently available. The Omega banner, the Goku and Vegeta banner, or even the Carnival banners, right? Like, if you haven't gotten those, they are way more valuable for your summons than this banner right here. So, and their banners will be extended to the end of the celebration. So yeah, not a whole lot. So that's 1 for the unit and none for the banner. So the last question is, well, what lies ahead? What am I giving up if I decide to summon for this tag unit? Well, we don't know too much about what's coming up, but we do know that since this celebration is heading till August 18th, that pretty much takes up all the month of August, all right? And we do know that a lot of the tickets and banners and stuff do seem to indicate they are going away on the 5th, like these tickets here. Where is it? Well, these ones go away, so these are the current ones you're going to get for this, for the missions, that you can use for this banner. There will be 2 multi-summon tickets from the Seriously Serious Battles that you can use for the banner, and they go away on the 27th, and then the other set of tickets that we'll get on Dokkan Day go away on the 5th. This is likely when the countdown celebration is going to begin for Tanabata. So that is, or whatever is to replace Tanabata now, which was previously the worldwide slot. If we look at the calendar here that we had, right, we know that September to October timeframe, looking like September 5th, is going to be the start of this new campaign, which was formerly worldwide. So, I mean, there's not much, right? There's literally no gap between now. The only thing that's likely to be filled within that time is probably just this year's Pepe Gal's banner, which is typically in that August timeframe slot. Last year it was the Coquette and Mai, who also, meaning I think Fasha and Chilai should be getting their EZA during this time frame as well, and I doubt we're going to see another Dokkan Fest, and the reason for that being is the second set of ticket missions here, they specifically say, if you actually look at the listing for them, rather than saying for an upcoming Dokkan Fest, it says Gacha. It doesn't specify LR, it doesn't specify Dokkan Fest, it just says for an upcoming Gacha, which makes me believe it's probably related to this Pepe Gal's banner. So hey, tickets for Pepe Gal's banner, possibly. So either way, right, like summoning on here means you're not, I mean, the Pepe Gal's banner isn't going to be that big of a deal. The August Dokkan Fest, even if it is a Dokkan Fest and not just this, probably not going to be a big deal, which means that the very next big thing that we're going to be seeing is this campaign here, the formerly Tabata campaign, worldwide campaign. So it'll be a new Dokkan Fest LR and Carnival LR for the part 2. So you're probably going to want to save what little you do have after this major global Dokkan campaign for this campaign here. So honestly, knowing what lies ahead, probably not a good idea to summon here either, right? So that's 2 for the no summon category, unfortunately, right? We've got 1 for the unit and none for the banner, and now none for what lies ahead. So this is one of those situations where I think I might need to tier my recommendation, and the reason for that is just because it really depends on how your global Dokkan campaign summons went and how many stones you are currently with. So if you got all 4, I'm going to say this again, if you got all 4 LRs from the global Dokkan campaign and you have greater than 1,000 stones left over, I know that's a big ask, and I know not many people will have that, but if you do, then I recommend probably doing no more than maybe 1 or 2 rounds and try your luck here. So that's about 300 stones, and try your luck here with the guaranteed featured steps. The entire campaign that comes during August should give about 250 stones total, so you can easily make up what you spent here, as well as gain some summon points to use at a later date. I thought they were going to be used during the Global Dokkan campaign, but it does seem like they won't be able to be used till later. But at least you can rack up some summon points and try your hand at the guaranteed featured. You will of course have, all players will have access to the free tickets by completing Seriously Serious Battle 1, so that'll give you 2 summons. So obviously do those, but if you have that 1,000 stones, then no more than 2 rounds here, 300 stones on the banner here. If it is anything less than that, I do not recommend summoning on the banner, and the reason being is because previously when they announced the pity coin system, they specifically mentioned things like Tanabata would not be eligible for pity, and we've already seen that Golden Week and Saiyan Day also did not have it. So knowing that you won't be able to pity the unit during this campaign, should you spend enough, it's probably a good idea to have an excess of stones lined up. So I do recommend anything less than 1,000, you just steer right on clear from this banner. These guys are good, they'll be back. Your best bet is to just wait. You're not going to be able to complete content. You're not going to not be able to complete content if you don't have that. You know what I'm saying? If you've got the GDC LRs, then you're going to be completely fine. Now, I will say if you are pay to play, low to play here, there are Dokkan Fest tickets. The tickets on the on these new pity banners typically aren't that crazy. It's right, your 5 ticket multis, and I think you only get like 5 multis, I think, so it's not gonna be anything crazy. And there is eligible pity, which means like if your luck holds out, you could do as low as 300 to 400 stones on the banner and be able to trade in depending on how many extra units you pull. So there is, that is something to consider, but that's mostly for you pay to play, low to play players out there. So overall, my recommendation is to not summon for most players. However, if you do have more than 1,000 stones, I would say about 300 wouldn't hurt. Otherwise, steer clear of the banner. So, guys, that is it for the video. That is my recommendation on whether or not you should summon on this banner. I know it's a bit long-winded, but we have to go through our process. If I don't go through my process, I feel like I'm not doing the banner justice. It is not as simple to just say, no, don't summon. It's important we understand what we're giving up, because there could come a chance later on where something is really worth stepping through there, and it's important to understand the context of why. So I just want to put out there that we always try to go through our process. So that's it for the video, guys. If you liked the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let us know, will you be summoning for the Gohan, Goten, and Trunks. I know I will, right? This will be releasing around my birthday time frame, so hooray for birthday summons for me. So let us know if you'll be summoned in the comments down below. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.